Good morning, everyone. My name is Rick van Bruggen from Neotechnology, and here we are again recording another episode for our Graph Database podcast. I'm joined today by Brian Underwood. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you.
Great to have you on the podcast. These series are quite short and snappy, right, Brian? So, do you mind introducing yourself? What's your background?
Yeah, so my background is mainly as a sort of full stack web developer. A lot of Rails, little Node, um, and yeah, I'm currently working as a developer evangelist for Neo4j, and I'm also one of the maintainers of the Neo4j.rb project, the Ruby gems for Neo4j.
Wow, and you do all that while traveling the world, right?
I do. Yes, I'm currently traveling the world with my family.
That's fantastic. Yeah, Brian is currently in Stockholm. I'm in Antwerp, so it's great to have you on the podcast. So, what got you into the world of graphs, Brian? Do you mind telling a little bit about the history and how and why you got into it?
Yeah, for sure. So I a couple years ago was working for Couchsurfing.com, and I had one of my colleagues there sort of had heard about Neo4j and told me about it, and it sounded interesting. So while I was there, it's a major social networking site, and so I thought I would play with graph databases and see if I could import a little bit of data. I don't think I made too much progress at the time. I was doing other things um, and sort of working on the side. But I played with it. I really liked it. I liked Cypher. I remember being really excited about the 2.0 beta, and so I was like, I'm being excited about labels particularly, and so I remember it. I had to use the beta and not the 1.9. So um,
At your own
so
risk,
like
right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was. I think I might get a bug or two, but it worked quite well. And so I did that for a little while, and that sort of fell to the wayside. And 6 months later ish, I was sort of looking for an open source project to contribute to or something to spend my time with. And so I thought about the Neo4j gem, which was at the time maintained by Andreas Ronge. And so I contacted him and was like, hey, can I help out? And so I've sort of been helping out ever since.
Oh, okay, fantastic. It's a very active project, I think, right? The Ruby wrapper for Neo4j.
Yeah, definitely. We're very, very responsive on GitHub and Stack Overflow to people's questions. We really like helping people out because we're really excited about the project. And we're actually right now we're sort of trying to sort of push for a new release of the gem. And so I've been putting together a list of issues that of things we want to see in there.
So, what attracted you to Neo4j? I mean, what made it interesting for you? What was the key thing that you loved about it?
Yeah, so I don't know if you're familiar with Active Record in the Ruby world.
That's not my forte for sure.
Sure. Sure. So just very briefly, Active Record is a wrapper around uh, SQL databases. So it works with Postgres or MySQL or SQLite. And offers a higher level abstraction on top of those, a modeling abstraction, and it's very, very powerful and very, very deep. And I spent years sort of getting used to it and getting into it. And so I considered myself an Active Record expert, and very into databases. And so using Neo4j, I was like, oh, I really wish there was something like Active Record for Neo4j, and but also Neo4j to me, like it seemed like Active Record was smoothing away a lot of the awkwardness of SQL. Whereas with Neo4j, you didn't really have to work against the database. It was as far as like modeling and data abstraction. So that's what really I think attracted me to Neo4j was the smoothness, and that's also why I sort of wanted to work on the gem, is because I think you could not only provide that same sort of abstraction for Active Record, but do even more that was really exciting.
So I'm going to quote you on that one. I don't have to fight the database anymore. That's a great
Yeah.
quote. I like that one.
When I
So
think, go ahead.
No. It's a great way of putting things. So if you don't mind, where do you see the Ruby wrapper going, and where do you see graphs going? What's your vision for the future, if you don't mind talking about that a
Yeah.
little bit.
So you sort of see Ruby and Rails as providing a framework um, where you don't have to sort of do a lot of the busy work that you would normally need to do to get things done. And so I see Neo4j as sort of being in that same vein, where it's like it lets you work at a higher level. You don't have to think about the details as much, and so that you can get things done faster, but you can also get things done that you might not have considered before, that might have been really difficult before. Um, just like, rather than just doing web applications where just like update this object and, create this new object or whatever. It's like, let's have like a complex data structure that we're working on that, makes a really cool web application that you could do things that you couldn't do before.
And is that going to be more possible in the future, you think? I mean, is that the type of evolution that you see coming in the future?
I think so. Yeah, I think we certainly on the gem. I think I have my mind vaguely on this, even though we're not quite there yet. But I definitely want to like make it really easy to um, uh, load a complex structure of data with sort of one go to make that something easy. To create an API endpoint or a web page generated from that data a lot easier than before.
Hmm. Cool. Well, I mean, it would be great to keep following that, and I'm looking forward to that. We're going to keep it at that, if that's okay for you, Brian. Unless there's anything else that you want to sort of communicate to the rest of the world.
I don't think so. That was great.
Fantastic. Thank you for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it. And I'll put the links to the GitHub repo and everything on the blog post that goes with this. Thank you, Brian.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.